Hey, it's Dr. Ron here today, and today I would like to talk about mindset. Now, when I say mindset, I imagine some people have a visceral reaction and probably have checked out of this video without me saying anything further. Because mindset is, you hear it everywhere nowadays, whether we're talking about a football coach or a life coach or teacher or doctor, lawyer, accountant, they all tend to use the word mindset. So maybe we should take a pause and just reflect on it and see where it comes from, and just what does it mean, and is it appropriate to keep using it as much as people seem to. Psychologist Carol Dweck coined the term mindset in her book of that name, Mindset, which I believe was first published in 2007. And it was really very specifically directed at parents who raise children, and spoke of the fact that there are two basic types of mindsets. And in general, it means that there's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is what kids tend to grow up with if they've been praised for being bright or attractive or something that they keep hearing it based on something that almost seems inborn. You know, that you're such a good boy or you're such a smart girl or whatever. People who develop the fixed mindset then assume, at its very core, that if you're not born with it, then you don't have it. That there's no use in aspiring to areas where you're not particularly good, because that's a non-starter. On the other hand, the growth mindset is the more positive one, and it tends to occur when kids have been raised by parents who praise them for trying, not for whether they're bright or less bright, not for whether they're attractive or not for whether they're a good athlete or not. All those things are outcomes of trying. That, in other words, if somebody with the growth mindset really falls short, they learn that that's not a sentence for them. It's not something that says they can't acquire it at another time, that you keep trying. So that the growth mindset tends to produce the greater accomplishers, because in order to be successful and creative and so on, you have to risk failing or falling short, if we don't want to use the term failing. So that was a very specific kind of use of the term. And mindset really refers to the characteristic way that we approach the world, our attitudes as we move forward, move through the world. So that somebody who has a growth mindset recognizes that, hey, in order to accomplish things, I got to try things. Somebody with a fixed mindset will be more hesitant. Now, the term mindset, because it refers to the attitudes, the way that we approach the world, has been much more generalized. So we now hear people talk about a positive or negative mindset, a winning mindset, a losing mindset. Kind of the expectation that you have in your attitudes determine the mindset. So since it's been co-opted by so many people, the question comes up, is it actually being overused at this time? Are we ascribing things to mindset that are more important than they really should be? And my answer is no. I think that mindset is a critically important thing, but it's not limited to just two types of mindset. But at the base of accomplishment for almost any type of mindset, a winner's mindset, a positive mindset, so on, you have to have the element of the growth mindset. The idea that things aren't fixed and unavailable to you if you try. And if you try and fall short, that's not a tragedy. It's just kind of too bad that you're not getting what you want, but is it worth it to keep trying? And in some cases it may or may not be. But the point is that if you have a mindset that is based upon growth and trying, then almost every other positive mindset is available to you. And so while, again, the initial use of the term was limited to specifically to child rearing, the fact is mindsets guide us throughout life. And mindsets are worth working on because attitudes can be changed, behaviors can be changed, and if in fact we don't want to be stuck in a stuck mindset, then let's orient ourselves toward the fact that we are growing, we're changing. That's part of the human experience if we allow ourselves to. And the mindset will help determine the behavior of whether we allow ourselves to. So, in conclusion, I just think that mindset is a very useful term. Maybe getting carried away a little with the number of times it's used nowadays, but it's useful, it's important, it's something to keep in mind, even if you don't use the term verbally. Again, keep in mind the importance of your attitudes, and the way that you confront the world will very often be the basis for success at whatever age and whatever endeavors you may be trying. And if you really have that growth-oriented mindset, you will grow. You will grow as a person. It's not called the accomplishing mindset. It's called the growth mindset. And we're constantly growing, constantly changing if we allow ourselves to. So let's allow ourselves to. Till next time, this is Dr. Ron Kaiser from the Mental Health Gym and Rejuvenating University, wishing you the best, and we'll talk again soon.